How are you today? Good to see you. Hello, hello. Happy Tuesday, guys. How are y'all doing today? I hope you guys are having a wonderful, wonderful day. Hello, hello, Kelly. Miss you too. How are you doing? Congratulations on the big ventures you got going on, girl. Hey, Alex. How you doing? Happy Tuesday, guys. So happy to see y'all. Let me know how your Tuesday is going. Hello, hello. Happy Tuesday. I'm so excited about this show today. Hello, hey. How are y'all doing? You're so welcome. We got to get you on the show. Hey, I'm great. I'm doing a lot better. Life has been lifing, but hey, we're making it through, you know? Hello, hello. Taking it one day at a time, one day at a time. That's all I can do. I'm so glad to see you guys here. Y'all are definitely bringing a smile to my face. Hello, how are you? Good to see you. All right, the guest is here, so I'm going to go ahead and get started. Again, guys, thank you so much for joining me tonight. Hello. Oh, thank you, girl. I'm trying. So again, thank you. Hello, guys. I can't keep up. Hello. Thank you guys for joining me. Again, this is Real Talk Tuesday, where I am your host, Joe, where I talk to entrepreneurs about their businesses, and not just entrepreneurs, just people with light, shining light in this dark world. Whatever you're doing, if you're doing a great job at it, and I know you, I see you, I want to spot you out. And this is what this show is all about. We do not judge. We do not, discriminate in any nature here. I want this platform to be a platform where people feel safe, loved, and welcomed. Hello, sis. So yes, this is what this platform is all about. Of course, I do love Jesus Christ, and not all the people that are entrepreneurs might be Christian, but I do allow people to come on the show. But I am a believer where I might not believe what you believe, or you might not believe what I believe, but I can love you through Jesus Christ. And that's what he did, and that's what I am here, and this is what I made this show about. I just want to show my love with whomever, if you're shining a light in this world. I just want you to know that people see you and we appreciate you. And I'm just so thankful for God. I'm thankful for this platform. I know I haven't been on in a while, but like I said, life has been lifing, okay? And I just want to say also thank you to my father, who was my last guest on my show for 2022, and I kind of, drifted off, and if you know, thank God. It was my dad, but my dad is doing a lot better, so I just want to say thank you to all my friends and family who have prayed, who have came and visit me, who sent my family food and just has been embracing us and just praying for us. It's a journey, but we're getting through it. And like I said, life is lifing, but God is good, and God is real, and God is faithful. He has came through time and time again for your girl. So there's no denying him. There's nothing really much more I can say, but that Jesus Christ is amazing, and I'm so glad that I know him and he's alive and he's just helping my family and I and you. So thank you again, Dad, for being on the show. And tonight we have a great guest, great guest. She's from my hometown, and she is doing a business. It's not live yet, But what she got going on is just so amazing. I've watched her, I've seen her grow, and she has an amazing son named Easton. I'm sure if you've been seeing the flyers, you have seen him. And again, this is April, so before I even say this, let me just go ahead and say Happy Autism Month. So Easton does have autism, but we're gonna get into that. I'm gonna let Sam, tell you guys more about her business, what she's trying to do, and just how her day to day goes with Easton. So I'm gonna get her on now. Let me see. I seen her on, so let me just add her. And again, guys, thank you for joining me tonight. If you can, like, share, tag people to come on. If you know anybody that has autism or is just interested or works with kids with autism, tag them now. We want them on the show. We want to inform them about this walk and how you get through things. So welcome, Sam. Hello, Sam. Hello.
Hey, girl. Hey.
Hey,
Look,
girl,
like
we got the views tonight, girl. I can't even keep up. Hello.
Honey, when I tell you, I have been promoting like my mama, my cousin, my brother, my sister.
Look, I love it. Guys, like, share, and tag right now. Please like, share, and tag.
Please.
Anybody that has autism, work with autism kids. What else?
Volunteer. Family members, friends. Anyone who works in this particular industry. Like,
yes.
Hey, everybody.
Yes. Sam, oh my gosh, it's so cute, girl. Okay. The pictures.
I told you, I was like.
Yes, ma'am. Okay. Well,
I try.
It's gorgeous. I love it. So if you are ready, I am ready.
I'm ready. I just want to put out there before we get started. Easton is home. He is up. Right now, he is on his iPad in his room, which is next door to my office. So he may hop in and hop out, everybody. I know everybody's always like, where is Easton? Easton will be doing Easton.
But Easton, more than welcome to get on. We want to see Easton. We want to say hey to Easton. So whenever, I guess you can decide when you want to premiere him on. So you just let me know.
Okay, hold on one second. I have my camera crew over here.
Okay.
Let me shout out my boyfriend, everybody, because he really pushes me on a lot of things where I'm like not comfortable with. He pushes me out of my comfort zone. So when you see this light kind of going out, he's trying to make sure your girl is good. And I don't usually do this on the regular, but here we are.
Look, listen, you have to support the supporting men. Okay, that is beautiful. I love it. Come on. Yeah.
Look, he's on the ground right now.
Okay.
I just told him to get out.
That's so sweet. Let him help you, girl. Let him help you.
But okay, I'm ready. I'm so ready.
All right. So first question, Sam. First of all, do you want to say anything else before I get started?
I do want to put this small disclaimer out to anyone. Anything that I'm getting ready to share or speak on, this is my personal journey. Right. I'm not trying to instill in you what you should or you shouldn't do, who you should or shouldn't talk to, or where you should or shouldn't go. I will first and foremost put out there that please always seek medical advice from your medical provider.
Yes.
Anything that I'm saying is my journey, but your medical provider is going to steer you in the right and correct direction. I'm just a liaison on down the road off the things that I've gone through, and I can kind of assist additionally to what your medical provider can provide.
Yes, I love that you said that. So first question, Sam.
Yes.
All right, let's get into it. Guys, like she said, this might get serious. So tap in. If you can relate, please get in the comments, ask your questions, give advice, whatever. Just we want you to join in this conversation. So first question, Sam, is Autism affects about 1 in 68 children in America. And with its wide range of effects, can at times go undiagnosed. What are the signs that you notice, and what are other common signs for parents to look for in their children?
Okay, so let me go back to the beginning of time for our journey. So
Yeah.
for me, everything kind of started showing up 2019. I had Easton in 2017 of September. We went to every milestone, doctor's appointment. He passed, weight, sitting up, rolling over, etc., etc. So at this point, I'm assuming my child is normal. He's on track, everything. About around the age of 2, we had his second birthday. We had just bought our home and moved in, and we decided to have his birthday party here.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I had a house full of people. Everybody was downstairs, and Easton was upstairs in his room. Didn't want to be bothered, just off to himself. So I'm like, okay, that's odd, but not odd, because he is an only child.
Right.
Fast forward to 2019, it was time for his 3-year checkup. So I brought this up to his pediatrician. I'm like, he's off to himself a little bit, and he's talking, but I'm starting to see it regress a little bit. At that time, Easton was saying milk, please, signing just a little bit, just based off Tabernacle Baptist Preschool, which is where he currently goes.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm like, okay, what's going on? I'm seeing a halt in his progression. So she was like, well, let's just give it about 3 months or so. And I'm like, okay. Fast forward to 2020, 4 months later, the pandemic happens.
Mm-hmm.
So now where everyday life, you're working all the time, you're running to sports, outside leisure activities, a lot of things that we were normally doing where we didn't have time to really see what's going on in front of us. I now have time to stop, and I'm like, okay. So we were at home together for 3 months. During those 3 months, Easton was pointing at things. He would come and grab our hands to guide us to things that he would need. It was just not a lot of dialogue going on, and that concerned me. I also have a background in dealing with IDD, intellectual disabled individuals, so that kind of stood out to me. So I'm like, So fast forward, we go back to work around July. He turned going on 3 that year. We went to his pediatrician again for his year checkup, and I'm like, hey, this is going on. I decided to seek out my own speech therapist. During that course of time, when I sought out my own speech therapist, they assessed Easton, and he did indeed fall below the belt for his age range at the time, where he should have been doing at least 100 words. He was only doing 80.
Okay.
In my opinion, he was not even doing 80.
Gotcha.
So we went along with it. We decided to go ahead and put the services in place. Now, I have my own personal insurance, but again, Easton does qualify for Medicaid. So Medicaid was able to pay for these services. Wow. However, when you're trying to set up services, everyone, you're doing so many assessments. Your child's put in a room, flashcards, pictures are thrown at him, and he was not able to even point out a duck or a line or anything. So I told his pediatrician about it when we went back, and this time he was like, sounds like what you're telling me sounds like he's a little bit higher functioning autistic. He could be on the spectrum. Again, your pediatrician is not able to diagnose your child. So we then had to be referred to a specialist, which was a psychiatrist at the time. So he referred me to a company in Douglasville, and I cannot remember the name at the time, but they had a waiting list of about 9 months to a year. Which was not acceptable to me.
Right.
I started doing my own research. At that time, Easton's more symptoms that were starting to come a little bit more prevalent to me was the fact that his textures on foods. He went from eating shrimp, crab legs, lobster, steak, to only wanting crackers, fruit, bread. My child would literally eat a loaf of bread, 2 loaves of bread a week, and we were going through maybe 2 or 3 gallons of milk in a week.
Wow.
So I'm like, okay, it's okay. He's not starving himself, but at the same time, it's not normal.
Right.
So I'm talking to his dad about it. Just so happened, and I'm not going to speak on any names because I don't know if she wants to share her story, but Easton does have another sibling that is autistic as well. His mother did reach out to me, and she provided a list of psychiatrists and psychological people to get in touch with. I was then referred to Atlanta Psychological Center, and that's where we went from there. So to sum it all up, the symptoms were pointing, grabbing hand gestures, not really being vocal or verbal with anything, regressing on food, the color purple, fruit snacks. He would eat every color except for purple.
Wow. Okay.
So those are some signs that I did notice. And then also the biggest one was no eye contact. He knew his name, but he would never make eye contact with us.
Okay. And what age was he again?
At that time, it was 2 when I started noticing everything.
Okay.
And then it kind of progressed on to 3. That's when I started getting active.
Gotcha. Okay. So with that being said, what does your day look like, Sam? And how do you handle it all? Like I see here in the comments, Sam is such an attentive mother. I love her for that. And Alex said that she also agrees. And I also agree. So because you're so attentive, how does your day go with Easton? Like, tell us, what does that look like?
Okay, so typically at night I set everything up. Easton is routine-ish. We're not routine to the point that if we do break it, for lack of better terms, hell breaks loose, but it can.
Right.
And actually, earlier we did have a meltdown in Walmart. But I set everything up at night. So in the morning he gets up, it's easy accessible for him. We get up in the morning. I'm usually dressed before him. I get him up and we sing our little song. I might sing good morning to him and he'll start smiling.
Aww.
And then I'll dress him. We'll brush our teeth. His new thing is being a little bit more independent, because I pride myself on teaching my child to be independent.
Yes.
So we don't really coddle him too much. We try to push him to his fullest ability.
Yeah.
We brush our teeth. We get a little breakfast. He doesn't, again, that texture symptom is still there. So he will have his crackers. One thing that I do here at home in our pantry, Easton's favorite snacks are bread, saltine crackers, Ritz crackers, or fruit, or little hot dog smokies.
Okay.
I prepare everything and I put them in Ziploc bags. So in our refrigerator, we have a snacks drawer, so he's able to access it on his own, or he can go to the pantry. So he'll grab his choice of breakfast in the morning. He'll grab his iPad. He'll grab his cup. And then he'll stand by the door and wait on me. And then from there, Easton goes to school. So some may know, some don't know. But Easton does go to Tabernacle Baptist Preschool, and I love, love, love them. I cannot speak too highly of these people. Miss Alice, who is actually a part of the live right now,
yeah,
she is Easton's current school teacher. And when I tell y'all, she is God sent. She gets him out of his comfort zone. She pushes him. She also gave me tips to work on at home. From day one, when we knew he was going to be in her classroom, I don't even think school had even started yet. And she was like, hey, I got communication cards for Easton. I got you a set. We're going to do this and this and this. And I'm like, okay, I'm feeling this. I like this.
That's very important.
It is. Because like I said, education, a lot of people with society look at people with intellectual disabilities as you have to kind of segregate them, or they're not inclusive.
Right.
I don't like that at all. And my biggest fight and statement from the beginning was to treat Easton like any everyday child. He is 4, treat him like a typical 4-year-old. His diagnosis does not define him.
Yes.
So once he leaves school, because Tabernacle does get out about 11:30, either myself or his dad or somebody will pick him up. He goes to my grandmother from there. I pick him up when I get off at 4, and depending on the day it is, we may have therapy, which he does attend speech therapy Mondays and Thursdays twice, because he has group therapy at school with Glenn Heisman. He's also a part of the PALS program.
Okay.
So to kind of break it down to everybody, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, he goes to Tabernacle. Thursday and Friday, he goes to Glenn Heisman Elementary in Villa Rica with the PALS program, which is for children of his diagnosis or more, and they focus on getting them up to par. So after that, we get home and we kind of digress. I allow him to have a little screen time on his iPad. Right now, it's all about dinosaurs, everybody.
Dinosaurs, yes.
Dinosaurs, like that is his attachment. Again, that's another sign and symptom. Autistic children will attach to certain objects or things. Initially, it was Hot Wheel cars. We
Okay.
had tracks everywhere in the house. Now we're on dinosaurs. So my house looks like Jurassic Park right now.
Nothing's wrong with that. Let him enjoy
No,
dinosaurs, girl.
no. And then once we all kind of have a little downtime, we then get baths if I haven't already prepped dinner. He may go get a snack as well in the meantime, between time. Then we kind of just chill out for a little bit. He's usually in the bed 9:30 the latest. If
Okay.
he's pushy that night, it may be 10, depending on him. But I'm very big on at nighttime laying down with him. Sometimes we read books, sometimes we don't. I ask him about his day. How does he feel? He's very, very affectionate and loving. So he would kiss all over me 500 times. And at some point, he'll just drift off to sleep. And that's pretty much our day. We are not very adventurous, have a full-blown schedule. Our week is very tedious at times, depending on what I have going on work-related or he has going on. But for the most part, it is routine.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely does a routine for sure.
Yeah. So I like to stick to our routine. I'm a very structured person myself.
Yes.
So if I wake up and if anything deviates from my routine or my list, it does throw me off a tidbit.
Okay.
But like you said, I always have to turn to God and kind of get back into my quiet space and pray about it and bring myself back together.
Yes. Yeah, I'm sure.
But I have to be structured for him. And as long as I'm structured, then he kind of understands. And if we do have to stray from it a little bit, he's easygoing.
That's
Now,
awesome.
today, he didn't get a nap today at Grand's house. So when I picked him up, he was already fussy.
Yep.
And we had to stop by Walmart. And, of course, we have to go to the toy section every time to get more dinosaurs. Mind you, he has 5 replicas of the same dinosaur, but it doesn't matter to him. And
yeah,
Donnie was trying to show him some other ones, and he was not having it. And we had a full-blown meltdown in the store today. And
oh, Easton.
yeah.
Yes. So while we're talking about meltdowns, when your son is triggered, what are coping mechanisms that you use for parents that might have an autistic child, or it's in the family, they don't know how to cope with it? What are your coping mechanisms when it comes to
I usually, if we're in a public place, I would usually get off to the side because, again, we do have people around us.
yeah
Again, a lot of society members are not really aware of what's going on. They may look at it as a child throwing a tantrum. And I always say with Easton, and this may sound a little weirdish, but you have toddler tantrums and then we have autism tantrums.
yeah
So, for example, today we had an autism tantrum in the store. Lot of screaming, lot of falling out, kicking. I just really grabbed him and I just kind of bear hugged him a little bit. And we just stand there for a second and I soothe him. I talk to him in his ear and I just try to calm him down. And I pat him on his back.
yeah
And and here he is. Hey, buddy.
Easton.
Hey, come here. What do you have? Okay, so he wants to be behind me for a second. You gonna tell everybody, hey?
Hi, Easton.
Hello? Okay. So he's just busting in here with a bowl full of grapes. But usually I just try to calm him down as best I can. If we're in another setting where something's going on, I will walk him out and take him to the side just to kind of, get him together a little bit. I always say I validate his emotions. So what he is feeling in that time, that is his right to feel that in that time and moment. If he needs to cry or scream it out, it is okay with me. I have no shame of anyone looking at us or side-eyeing us. Again, it's society's ignorance. But for me, this is my child.
Yeah.
Again, it's pretty much the same thing at home as well. It's just trying to eliminate any other distractions, just calming him down as best I can. And once we kind of talk it out, and I always try to explain things to him and he understands, then we just move forward.
Yes. I love validate his emotions. Like we said, we both, and well, you still currently work with people with IDD, and I worked with special needs individuals, and even to this day, they're older than me. I still validate their emotions. You
You
have,
have to. You
yeah,
have to. They are human just like
they
we
are
are.
human just like
And
us. Yeah,
people tend to forget that. And it's like, just because something deems me one way on paper does not negate the fact that I am human. I still feel like everybody else. I still cry. I still hurt. I am human. I am somebody. And you're not going to dismiss my personal feelings. I'm
yeah,
very big on that in my personal life. Like, you're not going to tell me.
exactly. I'm the same. Yeah,
Yes.
I told.
I swear. So I always tell him, like, lately he's been on this thing. I'm sorry, which is fine because he's learning manners and things of that nature. But he's at times he finds himself saying, "I'm sorry for things that he shouldn't be sorry for." So I had
Yeah,
to tell him. I said, "No, no, you're fine. You don't have to be sorry about that. How you felt or what you wanted to say at that time. Of course, as long as it's in reasonable means. But no."
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Love that, Sam. So, your son is a blessing, of course. We all agree with that. And he's so well taken care of. Given the fact that autism is hereditary, are you afraid to have more children?
That question has came up a lot here lately. Easton is 5. Well, going on 5 this upcoming September, and trying to find that happy medium of, should I have another one? I am creeping up in age a little bit, and it's like, okay, he's finally of age to where we're kind of getting a little bit more independence, and he's getting, self-aware of everything. And people are like, "Are you going to have another baby? Da 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 this, da 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 that." And I'm like, to be honest, it's 50-50 in the moment.
Okay.
I would love to give Easton another sibling. Um, However, I do have my reservations.
Right.
A lot of people don't know this, except for my close family and friends, but I do feel like I played a part in Easton's diagnosis. And to break that down, I say this. I didn't find out that I was pregnant with Easton until I was 13 weeks. We were young, still out with my friends, social drinking, things of
Hmm.
that nature. So, of course, when you first find out initially when you're pregnant, you get on your prenatal vitamins, et cetera, et cetera. So, once I found out his diagnosis, I'm like, I didn't know. Did I do this to me? Is it hereditary? Is it from my DNA? Like, what? So I felt like, because I didn't have proper care from day one as I should, due to the fact that I didn't know, maybe this caused this. I was under a lot of pressure at the time in a relationship with his dad, along with my mom. We weren't in a good space, and it took a toll on me mentally, physically, just my health. It was so bad. My blood pressure was sky high. I ended up contracting preeclampsia while I was pregnant with him. I gained up to 200 pounds with Easton, and majority was bodily fluid and water.
Hmm.
And yeah, that was such a dark time and space in my life. And when I had him, I didn't think I was gonna make it. I literally had to be rushed to the hospital. I had to actually go have him because it came down to either stroking and figuring out at the same time. Um, to the point they called my dad in, and if it came down to it, would you choose the child or the mother?
Oh, wow.
I, like, for my praying grandmother, because she was there as
Hello,
well, and
mother. Okay.
honey, Dorothy Mae Thomas,
And
she started to pray, and we all began to pray. And I'm like, Lord, you're gonna bring us out of this. We're both gonna go home.
yes.
And I say all that to say it does scare me, because what if I have another child?
Yeah.
What if my 23 chromosomes, my DNA causes? I don't know, because they actually don't have a way of detecting autism at birth or in the womb.
Right.
So it's that scary unknown. Yes, I take on being a mother with Easton very well. I wear my superwoman cape every day, even when I'm tired. But what if I have another child and then they have a condition or a diagnosis as well? Now I have 2 disabled children.
Right.
Which is no biggie, and I'm not ever downplaying that, because if I can take care of one, I can take care of another.
Exactly.
Or what if I have a child that's normal? A part of me feels like I would be kind of guilty a little bit with Easton, because this child is normal and can go on in everyday life and not need that much more extra attention. And then Easton would. And then what if that child gets jealous because Easton is getting a little bit more attention? So it does raise those concerns for me.
Right.
But the best thing that I could do about it is just pray on it, and whatever God blesses us with,
that's it.
He will never give you more than you can bear.
Hello, and that's what I was going to say.
He will never give you more than you can bear. Because in the beginning of me finding out this, I'm like, Lord, am I fit for this? Am I qualified for this? Can I do this? And then He had to remind me, Sam, you've been working in your field for over 10+ years.
Yes.
You've been equipped with the tools, baby. You just gotta utilize them and get out there and do it. So I will say, in going forward, yes, I am scared, y'all. I'm nervous, as we all will be with an average child just being born. We don't know. But whatever God chooses to blesses us with in the near future, if it does happen, like, I'm happy either way.
Exactly. And it's okay to be afraid, Sam.
It is. It is. I don't show it a lot, y'all, but I literally get in my closet some days. I cry, or when I get in the shower, because it is some days I still kind of question it. I have accepted that my son is this way, but as any other parent, and I'm not ashamed to say this, I can't really say that I'm fully at peace with it, because there are those big question marks. Why?
That's good, Sam. That's good. Yes. We have Kelly said in the comments, I love how you let him be independent and validate his feelings. Having a background in IDD, I see parents/guardians too many decisions for their children and not validating their emotions. Yes, me and Kelly actually used to work together, so we
yes, I know Kelly has a history of working in it. Hey, yes. Kelly,
you know Kelly.
I do. Girl, I want to say something about the right Kelly. If you are, yes.
Yeah.
Okay,
Kelly
Easton.
is a G in this. Hey, yes. That's so true, because a lot of parents feel like they just have to do everything. I love that you give independence. Peace. I feel like it's so important.
Yes, it is. It is. I just feel like we're in society in this time where we're at now. We're kind of put in this weird space now to where you can't really vocalize how you feel, and if you do, it's gonna be held against you in some type of way. And everything affects us all in different ways. And if you're mad, you're mad. If you're sad, you're sad. If you're upset, jealous, whatever in that moment, it is okay. Those are normal feelings. If we were not meant to feel those way, God would have never instilled those things into us. So I'm very big on that. Don't ever let anybody take your voice away, y'all. Ever.
Yes, I agree. Alex said in the comments, I tell you all the time, great job. He said you did a great job, Sam.
Thank you. I just have to shout out Miss Alice. Like, again, she goes above and beyond. Like, even though Easton's with her 3 days a week, and on the days he's not, she's like, oh, make sure he comes here this day because we got this going on. She's always including Easton. Yes. She has also made the classroom aware as well, the children. And at first, I was like, oh, we don't really tell kids he's like autistic, because, I don't need to raise those questions, because, again, toddlers are going to ask off the wall things. But then in hindsight, I am very glad that she did that, because all the children are aware of what Easton. Because April 1st was the start of Autism Awareness Month, and she sent me a video while he was at the other school, and all the children had on blue, y'all, and they were like, we love you, Easton. Oh, I'm like, that right there.
Yes.
It made my day, because It doesn't matter. And I had to go thank all the parents in our private Facebook group because, you know, a lot of people don't teach their children. And that's another thing to touch bases on, like in the adulthood life. You know, start your children or your family members or loved ones off at an early age of learning and knowing that everybody's not the same.
Exactly.
You know, everybody's not going on the same learning path, the understanding, the cognitive level that you are on, and that's okay. We're going to still love everybody the same. And the fact that these parents are teaching their children at an early age and instilling them that it's okay to love on everyone that are different, black, white, purple, yellow, green, disabled, non-disabled, like to share your children with my child, because I was so afraid, like when he's going back into the school system this year, and I'm like, okay, is he gonna make friends? Like, are they gonna gravitate? Because, you know, kids kind of pick up on vibes too. Is he gonna be off to himself? But he had one little friend that kind of gravitated to him initially, and that was little Miss Mackenzie. I call her his little girlfriend. I don't know what they got going on over at that school, but those two are like this. Oh. And she loves Easton, y'all, to the point her mom reached out to me, was like, when he's not there, she talks about him. She comes home and talks about him. And then Miss Alice also let me know, like, the other kids, like, where's Easton at today? Is he at his other school? Like, to know that these children know and care and understand is a blessing. So I really want to shout out to Miss Alice for just taking the extra mile for Easton at all times, and, you know, just pushing him to his fullest ability. I can't thank you enough for that.
Yes, Alex. So, you know, your work is not in vain, girl. So, yes, thank you so much. So, early detection has been proven to be more effective for children on the spectrum. Mm-hmm. How has son early detection benefited him?
I would say, and this is kind of go back to after we his pediatrician referred us to a specialist, and once we got our appointment, everything set up with Atlanta Psychological Center, and they did their assessment with him, it was very prevalent that Easton was autistic. Mm-hmm. And then we got the report 3-4 weeks later, and she called back and was like, you know, we're just gonna go over the report virtually. Of course, I kind of understood. Again, I do have a background in IDD, so it all kind of just flows natural for me to understand it. But one thing that stuck out to me with her, she was like, I honestly don't have anything to recommend, because usually once you go over your assessments and their reports they write up for you to like go on and take on to create to set up their therapies or anything else that they need, they kind of recommend some things to you. And she was like, I honestly don't have anything to recommend for you and your son, because you have already taken those steps. There's not too many family members or parents that want to take that initiative. And so early detection for me was very big and played a big part, because once we talked to, I guess most people will say the big people or the doctors or the psychiatrists or whatever, I already had things lined up. So for one, it came off as, hey, she's very hands-on with her child.
Right.
2, she means business. And I don't want to bring up color, because I'm not one of those people that pull the black or white card. But if we're going to be truthful here,
exactly,
I am a black young mother. And statistically, I am supposed to fail. I'm not supposed to be working a full-time job with benefits. I'm not supposed to be owning my own house. My child is supposed to be up to par as much as he is. So for me, early detection and knowing and taking those extra steps before I go and sit at the table, and the first thing people are going to ask, so what are you doing at home? Yep. Oh, it was already laid out on the table. We're doing X, Y, and Z. So because we already had speech therapy going on, she didn't have to recommend those things. Because, I'm sorry, I would have had an accident with a toy box. And he's sleepy too, y'all, so that's what y'all gonna hear in the background. But, you know, we had those things already set up, and it minimized the downplaying talk a little bit, if that makes sense. Or you should be doing this, or you should consider this. It minimized a lot of those conversations. So it allowed these individuals in life to know, or these people that I was working with, like, hey, she's on it. She means business. She's gonna do whatever it takes to get her child up to speed. He at that time, I think he already had been doing maybe 9 months, almost creeping up to a year with his speech pathologist, and this is our private speech that we pay for.
Mm-hmm.
And then in the home setting, we already had sensory bins. I got online, I YouTube, I Googled some things that would help him with those things. So when she asked me like, well, what are you doing? By the time I was done, it was like, oh, okay. Like, well, I don't have anything to recommend. So I harp very much on that. Like, if you sense something or you feel it, please go out and seek that knowledge and that help. Again, please refer back to your medical provider, because, again, I'm not the one. I can kind of guide you a little bit on who you could or could not, but early detection can save your loved one a lot of hassle, and yourself a lot of hassle on down the road.
Exactly.
I work with the adult spectrum, and we have individuals that come to us 32, 40, and they don't know how to sort out basic laundry, or they don't know how to distinguish the difference between certain items. And to think, what if mom or dad took heed in the beginning and started pushing it? Grant you, a lot of our families that I've noticed. You coming up? You got a boo-boo? Okay. Let's see. You gonna show everybody your boo-boo? Okay. You okay? I was right here. Okay. All right. You give me a kiss? All right. You good? Okay. We're good, everybody.
Oh, so sweet.
It's a mess. But, just to think, some of those parents did kind of start doing some things at the beginning, like, where would that child be now 32, 40 years down the road? And grant you, a lot of those are some baby boomer parents. So the resources we have now were not available then. Again, let's just be real. Back in the day, if you were born with any type of deformity or considered slow or mental retarded, which they have discontinued that term, so you would not ever hear me say that, but they pretty much shipped you off to an asylum somewhere, and you were not a part of your family, and people were ashamed and embarrassed, and it wasn't even talked about again. But as time has gone by, doctors have become a little bit more knowledgeable. Technology has got advanced. The conversation is there now. So it creates that, okay, I'm noticing my child, let me go ahead and start now at the age of 2 and 1. And I do believe the earliest that you can go ahead and start rolling that ball, if you detect some things or you start seeing signs and symptoms, are as early as 2 years old, sometimes 1. And even after talking to the psychiatrist, Dr. Johnson at Atlanta Psychological Center, she was asking me questions, and in these assessments, y'all, they're going to ask you questions. Can Easton walk up the steps 2 feet at a time? Does he put the left foot in the right? And you're like, huh? Again, do you even think about those things? But, I'm asked those type of obscure questions. And she even went back. And again, I guess with everyday working and tired and dealing with everyday life, you kind of suppress some things or overlook some things. And she brought up, like, has he ever walked on his tippy toes? And I'm like, now that you think about it, yes. He was exhibiting some of those symptoms at the age of 1 when he had just started walking, or when he bends over, is he look between his legs? And if y'all are old school like me in the Black community, if somebody see a child bending over, look between their legs, oh, you better watch out because you got another one coming. So I'm like, no. So at that time, to me, walking on your tippy toes or bending over was being a typical toddler. Him spinning in a circle was being a typical child. But those are stemming symptoms for a child. So, there is, what's the word I would like to use? It is time to detect early detection, and it's never too early. No. Again, I'm a hovering mama bear, so from the time my baby was born, okay, is he sitting up? Is he crawling? Is he doing this? I just kind of watched and like mentally noted everything. And, when I start seeing that drastic decrease in him, that's when it was like a light bulb for me, like, okay, you're not crazy. Because I did start speaking with it with a lot of my family members, friends, and of course people like, boys develop slower than
Yep.
girls, or, give him time. And
Yep.
so I'm like, okay, cool. Time goes by again, and I'm like, I don't know, y'all. And it's still those same, I don't know questions. Give him time. My daughter did this, so your son, just give him a little bit more time, this and all that. And I say that to say, you as a parent birthed that child.
Hello.
You carried that child. Whatever your gut is telling you, go with it. Don't halt it. It's okay to listen to other people and kind of listen and take heed to what they're saying, but you don't have to receive it. It's okay to say, okay, but I'm still going to go do this. And I had to learn that early on as a parent. I felt like if I would have kind of not dragged my foot a little bit and kind of like let everyone else reassure me a little bit, I probably would have had a little bit more early on intervention.
Right. I feel like some parents are in denial, where they see the signs and it's just like you said, oh, they're a boy, or she's just a little late, just talking. No, you're the parent. Like,
yes,
what you set up is what your kid is going to be in the future. Give them
right.
the best for the future. Get them seen about early so you can start putting in the work, putting in the routine of whatever's going on, so you can get them to where they need to go. I hate that some parents are just so like, especially in the Black community, how it's just like, oh yeah, girl, he's
right.
slow in learning, or he'll be talking about to, where he's not saying hardly any words. That's a problem.
It's a problem. It is a problem.
I know some parents are just like, oh, this is my first baby, or, this is my son, this is my daughter. I don't want to accept it. But why make it harder for your child?
Right. True.
Doesn't make sense to me, but, hey.
I feel like, as a parent, you have to remove self.
Yeah.
Again, it's okay to feel how you feel and validate your feelings as well, but you have to remove yourself and your feelings from the equation and put the child's needs first. I will say that it is going to come down to that. And that question has come up a lot to me as well. Like, are a lot of people in denial? And I have seen it. I do feel like up until I started publicly speaking and sharing our journey, a lot of people in our community in Carroll County, I did not know that their children were autistic or had something going on. And so I'm like, oh, and as you said, yes, it's that shame, it's that doubtfulness, or that, oh, let's just put it to the side. And especially in the Black community, I feel like a lot in our upbringing is what goes on at home stays at home. We're taught that at a very young age. And if y'all understand, you feel me on that. You don't discuss what goes on at home, or if you're having some type of problem or feelings, you don't go talk to anybody outside this household. We deal with it here. So I feel like it becomes suppressed and swept up under the rug. And then when little Sally or Billy goes to school and then the teacher calls and say, hey, we got to have a parent-teacher conference because your child is lacking, then it's like, oh, let me go up here and show my tail because you're not going to tell me about my child because I know my child. But no, this woman or man is not calling you just to be talking on the phone, to be breathing. They are seeing something that you yourself in your everyday life may not be seeing.
Exactly.
And, it's I don't push it upon people. It's children that I have been around, that I have seen things, and I'm like, I see the symptoms. But as a parent to another parent, I'm never going to say, hey, you might want to go talk to your medical provider, or you might want to get your child assessed or diagnosed. That parent or that family has to be ready for that.
Right.
Again, like I said, I don't push it upon anybody. I had a lot of people say, what should I tell my friend that I feel like their child, pause, you feel like, not them. And until they're ready to say, hey, I think something's going on with Sally or Billy, leave it alone. Love that child either way he or she is, but until they're ready to take that step forward and seek the help and knowledge they may need, I don't, because as a parent, speaking on your child is already a very sensitive subject, disability or not. So me and my best friend have this saying, when it comes down to our children, and I don't know if anybody else feels the same way, but I birthed that one and raised that one. Anything that has to do with Easton Scott Terry is non-negotiable. I don't care who you, even his daddy, he knows, like, I don't care. So you can't come and tell me what to do with my child. So I know I'm not going to ever tell anybody else what to do with their child.
Exactly. Exactly.
What, baby?
So for might have just joined in, Sam, how old was Easton when he was diagnosed, and what were your thoughts following his diagnosis, and what steps did you take to get him the care he needed?
So Easton was diagnosed at let's see, he's 4 now, so let's back it up. 3. He was actually at the age of 3. And again, in the back of my mind, we after talk to his pediatrician, we had already kind of like, yeah, we're seeing signs, but we feel like he's higher functioning autistic. Mm-hmm. And just to clarify that Easton is on the spectrum, but he's a higher functioning autistic child, so which means he doesn't need any severe services or needs or anything to that nature. Right. We just he processes things a little bit slower than others, but he is still your typical 4-year-old child. He doesn't require too much attention. But when I went to Atlanta and we had that assessment, I was so nervous, and I was up all night praying. I'm like, Lord, you know, whew, just be with me on this. And due to COVID, you know, you can only bring, you know, just you and your child, so no one could go. It was very scary. Yeah. And so when they performed the assessments on him, and I'm sitting there watching my child, because I am a part of these assessments, because I may have to bridge that gap for them to answer some questions, and I'm watching my child and they're pointing at stuff and he's not even responding, and it's like I can't say anything on those parts, but it's breaking me on the inside. Exactly. And fast forward to 3 to 4 weeks later, when she finally emailed me the report, and then I actually had an official diagnosis on paper. The feelings at that time were, one, a sign of relief, because at that point I wasn't just being a hovering mama bear. Right. Everything that I was seeing or feeling, I was right. 2, it was like, okay, we saw it coming, we knew, but now it's like, boom, slap in the face, like, what now? Is he going to be in special ed? Growing up in school, they placed those children on a particular classroom or hall, and those children got picked on. I've advocated for a lot of them, so like, my child gonna have to go through this. It was an emotional one. It was happy. It was sad. It was mad. I did question God. Mm-hmm. It was a lot of emotions that I was feeling at that time. But once I cried it out, screamed it out, and gathered myself, it was more so back to talking to his speech pathologist. Okay, hey, we do have a diagnosis on his paper now. So what do we do now? At that time, he was only getting 1 session a week. And Medicaid, unfortunately, everybody, it's a blessing to have Medicaid to pay for medical expenses, but Medicaid won't pay for too much either. If you deal on the billing side of a lot of things, you have to approve why you need these services, when you need these services. You got to have assessments to back these up. So along with having that diagnosis on paper, it was able to open that doorway of opening additional services. Right. So his speech therapy then went up from 1 day to 2 days. At the time where he's currently at, they didn't have a occupational therapist, but then shortly after they ended up hiring one. So his speech therapist was like, hey, I know it was kind of sort of a recommendation from Dr. Johnson at the Atlanta Psychological Center. So did you still kind of want to explore that? And I was like, you know what? Yeah, I'll put him in it, because, you know, at this point, anything that would help my child succeed or progress, I'm for it. So we were able to get speech twice a week and occupational therapy once a week. No, baby, I need that. Can I have that? Thank you. It's hot. And from there, we started back school with Tabernacle that September. I have to really shout out his speech therapist as well. Miss Kathy, she has a lot of friends in the school system, and she was like, oh, there's Baby Can't Wait. It's another one. At that time, I reached out to Babies Can't Wait. Okay. He was past that age threshold at that time. So she's like, well, try the PALS program. So I called Carrollton, which they consider, if you're in the city limits, it's called STARS program. And if you're in county, they call it the PALS program. So when I called the lady at the STARS program at Carrollton, because everybody wants to go to Carrollton City Schools.
Yeah.
Even though I am a Billerica alumni. But I did reach out to them, and she was so sweet. She was like, unfortunately, because you guys don't live in the city limits, I have to refer you over to the county. Okay. So I was then referred over to Central Elementary with the PALS program. We got everything set up, intake. We had to go there and do 1, 2, 3 assessments over a period of time. And the lady that was over at the Board of Education for a county, who does the intake process, she had a very nasty attitude on the phone. And for me, it rubbed me the wrong way. And I was like, you know what? No, we're not doing that. Right. So time went by, and she started reaching out to like my other emergency contacts. So one day she called my stepmother, Vonda. You gotta be quiet, okay? Vonda Thomas, and so she called me. She's like, this lady is calling me, trying to get in touch with you, and she really wants you to finish your application so she can get Easton started before the school year. I'm like, I'm not talking to that lady. Like, she got rude with me because I think at the time the question was, did you want to add his father? And I'm like, no, because he's not going to come or do anything anyway. So I handle pretty much the bulk of everything when it comes to Easton. Well, I have to put somebody down. Does he not have like a father or father? And I was like, whoa.
Wow.
Yeah, and that rubbed me the wrong way. So at that point, I was like, I can't work with an organization that's going to allow a staff member to speak to anyone like that. And I looked at that. I was going to push the envelope on that. But again, my child is getting ready to go up to the school system. So I didn't want to make it hard for him, because people will label your children.
Yes. By Yes.
Yes. Yes. So after talking to my stepmom, she kind of convinced me, like, go ahead and, you know, just get through it and you won't have to deal with her anymore. So I got through it, and she was right. I didn't have to deal with her anymore. Once we went to the Central Elementary, he did a hearing test first, an assessment. We went to this booth and they worked with him. A few months later, we went back and did another assessment with 2 other speech pathologists and counselors there. They wrote their reports, and then right before school started this past this current school year, they called us back again and we did our final one. Okay. At that point, they then I notified them that he was a part of Tabernacle Baptist Preschool, and so they was like, okay, we're going to give him a month to get acclimated and adjusted with them, and then after a month, we're going to set up a meeting. So at that point, I think it was October of last year, 5th, 8th, don't quote me on that, we had his first IEP. Excuse me. And IEP stands for Individual Education Plan. Yeah. So if you do have a child with a developmental disability or intellectual disability, if they are in the school program, they will set up a meeting with yourself, the school counselors, the teachers, or whoever that's going to be a part of his care plan. And you all will sit down and discuss your child or loved one's needs, wants, areas they're lacking in, or areas they could, you know, be progressing in, but we need to focus on a little bit more. And from there, we all create a plan. Mm-hmm. And we're going to create goals. So Easton has a total of 6 goals that he works on at school. And after we set up that plan, they actually emailed me a copy of it. So it is in stone. I sent that to his speech pathologist. He was actually approved to be a part of the PALS program, so that's how he got into Glenn Heisman. Okay. At the time, he was going to Tabernacle 5 days a week, and they was like, so what do you think about him going to the elementary? I'm like, whoa, I'm not ready for that yet. Like, this is my little baby. And because he's 4, but he has a late birthday, so in the state of Georgia, for anybody with a child is not 4 by September 1st or on September 1st, then they have to go to school the next go around. So that's why he's in the 3-4-year-old classes at Tabernacle. So she's like, well, we can get him in our 3-year-old class at the PALS program. I'm like, I don't know them people. I haven't met them. We already kind of like starting to the school year. I'm very big on meeting his teachers, having a very open, honest, clear, concise conversation of This is what we have going on paper. This is who he is in person. This is what I expect out of you, just as much as you expect out of me as a parent. I like to have those conversations so I'm very clear in the beginning, so we don't have to visit it down the road. And that was, they kind of talked me into letting him go 2 days a week, so that's how he ended up going. And that's pretty much his services that we got into place. So not only is he in Tabernacle, but Blanton Heisman, speech therapy, at Kids in Motion here in Billerica, and occupational therapy. And while he's at Glanton Heisman, he is in group speech therapy as well.
So is there any courses that you might know or like could help point people where to go if they don't have the insurance? So that you spoke about, how much the help is, all of these things. Do you know any resources that you can give someone who might need to take their child or family member?
To be honest, I will say in the Carroll County area, there is not enough resources. Basically what I've been seeing on our journey in our area, you can get speech therapy easily. If your child needs ABA therapy, it may be 1 or 2 therapists here in our location. If you need any assistance or any other additional therapy, you're going to have to go up the road. And when I say up the road, starting from Douglasville up. That's one thing I've been kind of harping on here lately is we got to start going to our city council meetings. We got to start getting big in our schools. We got to, wherever we got to go, we got to start getting this together, because there's no reason as a parent I should have to get off my job and, excuse me, I'm trying to get the camera together. I'm sorry. Is there any way, y'all, I don't do live. Okay, so I see the comments.
Okay.
I'm trying to make sure I feel so old, y'all. I feel so old.
You see him? Cause my phone's dying.
Okay. We got it.
Okay.
Oh, they keep us up here. But yeah, we just gotta kind of get a little bit more bigger as far as bringing that awareness and getting it big, so we can create those resources here in Carroll County.
Right.
And
right.
I don't know exactly who we're going to talk to. My HR at work, her son is autistic as well, so she's pointing in the direction of there is an autistic foundation or something here in Carrollton that I recently just joined their Facebook page.
Okay.
And I have the man's contact, but I want to like have a meeting with him and try to create a little bit more down here, because as a parent, again, you should not have to hop off your job. Easton. Hey, can we take the dinosaurs elsewhere? I know. Okay. But you shouldn't have to get off your job and hightail down the road to get your child to get to Billerica or get to Douglasville, because for one, it's impossible. Let's just be real. I cannot teleport anywhere, and it's hard. It becomes very deterring. But the resources that are pretty much in our area, I would say, are you can get occupational therapy, you can get speech therapists. It's just, just don't settle for one. Just call around and see.
Mm-hmm. Do you see that comment, Sam? Laura wrote.
So I do not go live, and for some reason they are not floating. So
she said, I can read it to you if you want me to. She said, yes, Sam. As a SPED teacher, I wish all of my babies had an advocate like you for them.
Thank you. I wish I could just grab every single last one of them and just go out there and get a bullhorn, y'all, and say, this child needs this, and we're going to kick down doors.
Right.
But, that's where we got to start as educators. As I'm considered a social service program coordinator, we kind of got to find a way to bridge that gap with families. Mm-hmm. Not in a way to push them or cross those boundaries or trying to say something's wrong with your child, but saying, hey, these things are out here. Yeah. At any given time, if you want to explore them, it's to your discretion, but I don't know. That's something I've been kind of trying to figure out myself as well, because again, it's a lot of times I see a lot of children or a lot of families or that are struggling with these things, and I want to hop in and say, hey, you can do this or you should do this, but I don't know how they can perceive it. And, you know, unfortunately, those children kind of fall over the wayside, and then it affects them in the long haul.
Right, right.
It does. It really does.
So I'm sure your son was an inspiration behind your son's clothing line. Were there any other inspirational aspects behind this new business venture? Which you got to tell them the premiere date.
Yes, so in case y'all do not know or y'all have not got tired of me on social media.
Yes.
This is East Scott. And hold on, y'all, because my crew is telling me to promote. This is my mom bag. So this is our signature logo, East Scott. You will see a puzzle piece. You will see his name. So Easton's full name is Easton Scott Terry. Scott comes from my dad. So Easton is named after my father.
Okay.
And my dad, I'm a big daddy's girl. I'm the firstborn. So he had me everywhere. And so I just felt need to kind of continue that on, because even though I was a firstborn and I'm a girl, I can't technically continue on his last name, but I wanted to have a part of him with Easton. So I did name him after my dad. So I was like, how am I gonna do my logo? So I actually ended up putting it all together and running through. And at the bottom, it does say a piece of me with you always.
Yes.
So to kind of the background on that, with autism, the puzzle piece is associated with that. And I think that's like the most cutest, simplest way to kind of let it be known that it doesn't, when you're putting a puzzle together, they're not all the same size. They're not all the same shape. They're not all the same color. But at the end result gets you one big, beautiful picture.
Yes.
And we all make up that picture in life, whether it's Easton, whether it's myself, whether it's you or anybody on this live. We all come together. And he's that one piece in the middle, but we're all surrounding him to make it whole. So I was like, okay, let me incorporate the puzzle piece and his name. And at the end, I wanted to let everybody know that, you know, a piece of me is with you always. So anytime you wear our shirts or our merchandise, like, we are with y'all.
I love
my inspiration was because of his diagnosis. But again, we love fashion.
Yes.
I love
you
fashion.
always have.
I feel like I've been slipping since I had Easton, because once you become a mom, and a lot of my parents probably can attest to this, you will judge yourself for buying a $5 shirt. But you will go buy that child $60 pair of shoes. So I wasn't blessed to have a little girl, because I was so hell bent that Easton was a girl. Like, I'm like, her name is Easton Bray, this and that. And when they told me it was a girl, and my best friend was like, roll over her stomach again. And so at that point, I'm like, okay, I'm a boy mom. And so I'm like, well, how am I gonna dress him? I don't know.
You're doing a great job.
It just kind of came natural.
He is always cute.
Babe, y'all close the door. So it just kind of came natural, and I just started dressing him and just I love like different things. I love to dress down, dress up, mix pieces together. So I literally sit like on Pinterest or some of my favorite celebrities that I watch. I follow them and their children. I'm like, okay, that's cute, because you don't always have to have high-end pieces. Again, society puts that we have to have your Gucci, Louis, Fendi, and baby, let me tell you, we are Walmart, TJ Maxx, Marshall.
Hello. You gotta know how to put it together. That's
you do. You
just
do.
Put it together nice.
So I had a lot of people ask me, like, where did you get this from, or all of this and all that. So in the beginning, like, because when I tell y'all, before Easton was even born, he had a closet full of clothes. He had shoes that came out before he was even out of me. I was blessed to get unused clothes from a co-worker at the time. So he had a lot. So I was able to donate to people. As he was growing out of it and people were asking, oh, you dress him so cute, I started like just posting on Facebook, and I started selling it, and we made decent money. So once I sell his clothes, I go buy new clothes.
Yeah.
So my grandma was like, oh, why you buying him all those shoes? He gonna ride them fast. Yeah, but we gonna get more. So, but then as time went by, I started kind of seeing it dwindle down. People weren't buying it, so it just kind of came to me to start blessing people.
Right.
And again, every child is not fortunate enough to have the nice things in life. So, you know, my way of giving back is, you know, just to, you know, give it to somebody even though they don't ask. And as a parent, I get it's hard out here trying to maintain your everyday life, your bills, raise these kids, child care, clothes. It's expensive.
It's hard, I'm sure.
So, you know, if I can give somebody some clothes that are lightly, gently worn, or yes, I do it. So that was another part of the inspiration for East Scott. And I have been saying it for years. Like, I'm going to open me an online boutique. I'm going to sell clothes, and it's going to get big, and I'm going to have a storefront. And I've always, at a young age, I knew I was destined to be my own boss. I just didn't know in which avenue or lane I was going to fall in. And I always wanted to have multiple streams of income.
Yes.
And again, it's not always about the money, but, you know, money got to pay these bills too.
Yes.
So I was like, how can I do what I love and wake up every morning and go to work and enjoy doing it? So I incorporated our love for fashion along with that. So I took what most people would think as a negative, which is his diagnosis, and I turned it around
into a positive. Yes, love it, Sam. So does Easton, because you said he's so independent, you help him learn how to get up, get his breakfast, brush his teeth. Does he help with picking out his clothes as well?
Girl, yes. And if he had it his way, he would probably wear dinosaurs every day. So even though Easton does dress nice, like I said, I don't mind him wearing Walmart. I don't mind him wearing graphic tees or anything. So he does have his little pieces that he got to throw in there every now and then.
Aww.
Right now, we fight about these dinosaur crops. Baby, they don't go with everything, but you know, to minimize a fight, we go with it. But I allow him to have a hand. So it's funny because I'm a sneakerhead as well. Mm-hmm. So all the managers in like Kids Foot Locker, House of Hoops, or whatever, like they know us and they knew when I was pregnant with Easton. So when we go in now, and I'm like, which shoes do you want? And he would get out his stroller and he would go and pick them up. Oh, like, and I've been doing that since he was like able to sit up, like which ones you want, and whichever one he would touch, that's what we would get.
Wow, so sweet. Oh my gosh.
Yes. Again, I teach my son to have his own voice.
I love that. Own voice. Yes, you need to put that on a shirt.
You know what? Mental note.
Write that down, friend. Write that down. Yes. So when your boutique launches, what styles will you be leaning towards when it comes to merch?
Okay, so we will be launching next Friday. I found this vendor that I'm in love with, but we're kind of having like a small dispute right now, so I won't have all the other inventory ready. Excuse me. So initially we will have our signature shirts. Okay. And just to let you know, when you guys do buy these shirts, whatever price I choose to price them at, half of the proceeds will go into a separate account. Right. And once a year, I will choose to highlight, because even though I'm very quiet and I'm not always active and stuff, but I'm always observing and looking. So I know who needs help, who doesn't, or I get into contact with who I need to get in contact with. And one thing I know about being on this journey, you know, a lot of people that have reached out to me are not fortunate enough to have Medicaid or, you know, insurance that will cover a lot of these expenses. And, you know, taking off your job, trying to get to these assessments just to drive up to Atlanta for 15 minutes for somebody to say, okay, we'll be in touch. Like, you know, it cost me a day of work. Yeah. Gas is high. So I'm like, and this one particular family, like they were kind of having it hard. And I'm like, if I had it, Lord, I would provide it to them and wouldn't want anything back. So again, within creating East Scott, I'm like, how can I give back? Yes. Because the one parent told me, like, you know, we have all these, when you go to the store, do you want to donate to this organization, this for $1? But when she reached out to some of these organizations, they would not provide financial assistance, or they would guide her in the way she needed to go as far as resources. But, you know, I needed assistance paying for services. Right. And so I'm like, So I took that in consideration. I'm like, well, if I create a signature shirt with our logo, half the proceeds go into an account, and once a year I will choose a family to highlight. Oh, sweet Sam. And I would give them the finances that they will need help with. And if it's to go to gas, if it's to pay a bill because you had to move finances around your house, if it's to pay for a therapy session, whatever out-of-pocket cost that family may need, that is going to them.
I love it, Sam. Oh my gosh. So
in addition to that, our style is going to be more modern, updated, chic. I also like vintage pieces. I love for a child to be a child.
Yes.
And I kind of dress Easton also sometimes like a teenager a little bit.
I
give him that little boyish swag a little bit. But I want to give a little mixture of both. I'm going to give playful. I'm going to give, as I call it, baby teenager style. We're going to have graphic tees, distressed jeans.
Nice.
For my girls, our little sundresses. I'm big on prints and animal prints and patterns because I feel like they're coming back. I feel like everything retro is like, you know. Definitely. So it's going to be that vibe. Nice. And every now and then we may go a little tradition, you know, and just throw in stuff. I've had a lot of people reach out like, is it going to be a mommy and me section?
Oh,
yes.
That would be cute.
I will build up because when I started this, y'all, I didn't know how far or I thought it was going to go. What I was anticipating to be, people have input and instilled so many thoughts and ideas that I see East Sky being grand. We will have a mommy and me section, or we will have a matching me and sibling section, or just, you know, whatever. Okay. You're what? Are you gonna tell me we're gonna have, and then we're also gonna have Easton section as well.
Nice.
So because Easton loves dinosaur, you will have a dinosaur section to kind of go through. Because again,
I love it.
Put his touch on it.
Love it. So guys, the store will be launching when you say next Friday?
April 15th.
Next Friday, guys.
Next Friday.
Next Friday. Easton will be live. So guys, donate, support, get your shirts. Please right now go follow e.sky_LLC and also follow Sam on this live. Hey Easton. Hi. Hey.
It's not a picture, baby.
Oh my gosh. So adorable. Sam, that's it. Thank you so much for the live tonight. Oh my gosh, it's been great. It's been so informative. And I really hope that we touch some people's hearts and minds and letting them know, you know, what they can do, resources, everything. And if you guys have any additional questions that you might want to ask Sam right now, please.
I'm sorry, I have to look at that.
Please go ahead and ask the questions in the comment section, and Sam can answer those real quick. But if not, Sam, thank you so much for your.
Oh, and I'm sorry, y'all. I don't know if I got a little technical disconnect going on over here, but for some reason my comments are not popping up, and I don't know.
It's fine. If one comes up, I'll read it to you. But I don't see anything right now.
Okay, but I hope I've answered everybody's questions. I hope I've given some type of insight to everybody.
Yes.
Again, this journey is very, very personal to me. This is my everyday life. It's not turned off like a light switch. It is what it is. We learn to adjust to it as best we can. Again, I don't treat Easton any different from any other child or any other child that I may have in the near future. He used to be held to the same standards as everyone in the classroom.
Yes.
I always tell people I teach and instill things in Easton because the world is not going to adjust to Easton, but Easton's going to have to adjust to the world.
Yep. That needs to also be on the shirt.
Okay. Yes, and again, let me get on this iPad.
Yeah, that's one too. Okay,
it's noted because, and again, I think that's prevalent to everybody. You know, who you are is fine, and I encourage everybody to be true to themselves, regardless of what's been placed on them or over them.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, society doesn't adjust to and accommodate to you. You know, certain situations Yeah, but every day, no, nobody's not. So you have to kind of learn to adjust and navigate as best as you can.
Yeah.
But at the same time, staying true to who you are.
Who you are. Exactly. Sam, oh my gosh, this has been great. I'm so glad that you're my first person coming back to the live world. I had such a great conversation with you tonight. Congratulations with the new boutique. And just on this journey with Easton, you are a super mom. And I hope you know that every day, not just today, not on the days of, or, you know, Autism Month, not on those days, those hard days. Know that you are a super mom. You're great. I'm always here. You know that. And guys, if you want to reach out to Sam, please, you know, follow her, ask her questions. Follow the business e.scott_LLC. Get your product, your merch. Next Friday, donate. Just like. Sometimes it's not always about the money. It's about just supporting. Support. Right. So
even just a share, a simple share, comment. Way.
Yes. So thank you so much for the transparency. Oh my gosh, Sam, thank you. He is having the time of his life.
Okay? Yes. Again, y'all, this is every day, y'all. This is every day. We're gonna say bye-bye.
I love it. Bye-bye, you guys. Thank you, Easton.
We'll say good night.
Good night.
Mwah.
Mwah. Bye, Sam. Have a good night.
Bye, y'all. We love you.
I love y'all. Of course, I love you guys so much. I will be on the website on Friday, next Friday.
Yes.
Bye, guys. Have a great night. Thank you guys for watching. Everybody saying bye, E, on the live.
Bye, E. Somebody said bye. Okay.
So sweet. So sweet.
Yes. If you guys wants to come and get them, come and get them.
Oh my gosh. You guys have a blessed night. Thank you so much for joining, guys. Everybody that's on the live, thank you for your comments, your questions, for watching. We so love you. And guys, I will be back in 2 weeks. I can't wait for that next show as well. So you guys come and join me again in 2 weeks, okay? Have a great Tuesday. Bye.
Bye.